Hi, my name is Mike Lewin and I'm running for Borough President. So in this video, what I'd like to do is talk to you about community boards, what they do and how I'd like to change them. So let's go to a PowerPoint I've created, which briefly describes the issue. So first of all, what do what do community boards have to do with the borough presidency? And the answer is borough presidents appoint community boards. In my opinion, it's probably the most important thing that a borough president actually does. And second, why are community boards important? Because community boards review land use and in fact, some transportation decisions as well. And at least some of the time, city councilors defer to a district's community board. So what's wrong with community boards? The biggest problem with community boards is they're not represented in a variety of ways. Number one, they're older than the general population. Number two, they tend to be dominated by homeowners. And number three, because community board members tend to be older and own condos or houses, they tend to be more likely to be car owners as well, I suspect. So what's wrong with these biases? First, if you're a homeowner, you're naturally going to want to favor higher housing prices, because at some point you might like to sell your house and cash out. Or even if you're going to die in your house or condo, maybe you would like your heirs to be able to cash out. By contrast, it seems to me the public interest is in lower rents and lower housing prices. In addition, community boards are dominated by car owners who favor using most of the city for parking and favor not really doing very much to accommodate bikes and pedestrians. That's really not good for the environment. That basically means they're going to favor policies that lead to more cars in the city, which lead to more pollution, not just more climate change, but more of the kinds of day-to-day pollutants, that cause a lot of hidden deaths from lung cancer and things like that. So what's my program for reform? First of all, I'd like to ask applicants for community board memberships about car ownership. Typically, if you want to apply for a community board, the borough president gives you this huge application form. It asks things like, why do you want to be on a community board? What have you done for the community? Things like that. But what I would do is, to these kind of forms, I'd ask a question about car ownership. Why is that? Because about 77% of Manhattan households own no car, and I'd like community boards to reflect that. In addition, a similar percentage of Manhattan residents rent rather than own, and I'd like community boards to reflect this as well. Then the third and most controversial suggestion is that I'd like to ask community boards about their vision of housing policy. As to say, I think some community board members basically believe that housing for human beings is a nuisance. It's a bad land use. It should be excluded from any place they live. That anybody who can't afford to live in Manhattan should just go live in Houston or something. And so I think it would be good to have community board members who are representative of the city in this regard. And what I mean by that is, poll data shows that most New Yorkers actually want more housing in the city, not less. And so I'd like community board members to reflect this. One other issue is that some other borough president candidates have brought up is, what about representation by race and gender and national origin? And I'm certainly for that kind of diversity, but I think that kind of diversity is probably less important than diversity that really more directly affects your point of view on land use and transportation. So on that note, see you in the next video.